What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 7 of We Know Football. My name is Billy,
And I am Tyler.
and we got a really good episode for you today. Tyler,
hmm
what do you think about this one?
Oh, this is gonna be action packed right here. We got all sorts of news from the weekend. First week of preseason football. I know a lot of people don't give a fuck about preseason football, but you can actually learn a lot about fantasy players in the first week
You
and
can.
moving on. So, we got news, we got injuries, and we got some sleepers because we found out you guys love some sleepers.
We got 6 really important rookies that you should have on your radar for this season.
Hmm.
Some
So
more than
I'm
others.
I mean, I can't wait to dive into all this. I mean, we've been talking about this since last week because I'll just get it out of the way. After last week's episode, your boy posted some clips from Bill here talking about Isaiah Pacheco. We had the name fucked up. We'll take full blame on that. It's Isaiah Pacheco, not Pacheco or Pacheco or whatever.
Bigger picture.
Yeah, Isaiah Pacheco. I clipped it up with some highlights, posted it on the old TikTok, not thinking much of it, and it kind of blew up. So if anybody's watching that came from the TikTok, thanks a lot. Um, yeah, the thing got 122,000 views, which
It's
prior to
awesome.
that, yeah, I mean, prior to that, my most viewed video was, I don't know, I don't even think it was 10K, but it's sitting at 122,000 with almost 16,000 likes. So we're gonna keep on rolling those out to you after this episode's done with all our sleepers. I already got highlights all worked up. We got this all planned out. We're gonna be trickling out little TikToks from this podcast episode throughout the week. So I'm really excited.
It's awesome, man. It's just a start too.
hmm
Gonna have a lot of sleepers, a lot of news. It's all gonna be on TikTok and it's gonna be on YouTube Shorts as well. Just a reminder, I figure I'll start every podcast off by just reminding everybody. Obviously, if you're watching Twitch, you know the Twitch channel. Anybody listening on Spotify, the Twitch link is in the bio. You can also find us on Anchor, and We Know Football on YouTube as well. And thank you for everybody that's viewed, liked, all that good stuff. And start off by getting into some news.
Well, also the Twitch has changed.
Correct. Anybody who previously knew it as BIMS, which was my personal Twitch account, we have changed the name to We Know Football. And obviously, it'll be a lot easier for people to find who listen on Spotify and whatnot. But yes, the Twitch name is We Know Football. Obviously, no spaces or anything. Same name as the podcast. Logos in there and everything. The link to the community Discord is in the Spotify link. It is under the About tab on the Twitch page. And pretty
Got
much
it
all our
all.
information, all the information you need to know about the podcast, where you can find us, where you can contact us, is right on the Twitch page, in the Spotify link, and all that good stuff.
All right. Well, we got all that shit out of the way. It's time to get into some football.
All right, you're a Pats fan. I'll let you cover the first news.
Well, we got a lot of news to cover. The first thing, it's pretty sad, man, for me. I know nobody else gave a fuck, but old James White, man, he's retiring after 8 seasons. Pretty sad. He pretty much, I mean, I know Brady won the MVP in the Super Bowl against the Falcons, but James White deserved that way more than Brady. I mean, let's be honest. The dude had basically the best receiving game in Super Bowl history, and he's not even a fucking receiver.
Nope.
I mean, this dude did not get enough credit for how good he was. I know I told you this. James White played for 8 seasons and never lost a fumble. I
It's
mean,
pretty
that's
insane.
that's fucking insane. I really wish he could have stayed around. to kind of help out Mac Jones and just be like another leader in the locker room because we're kind of lacking that a little bit. But he's coming off a hip injury, and I mean they're saying that he might get cut anyway because we drafted a bunch of dudes, and he's just that kind of guy that Belichick's a cold-hearted motherfucker, and he'll cut anybody.
Yeah, he doesn't
So
care.
yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. So I mean, he probably saw the writing on the wall. Maybe he wasn't healing right, whatever. Knew he was gonna get cut, wanted to retire a Patriot. So he's gone. It sucks.
It'll be better for his body and whatnot, anyways. Getting out early.
Yeah, he made his money. You know,
Yeah, won a
he's
few
good.
Super Bowls. He
I
bigger
mean,
things in life to get to.
he's not a guy that like a regular Joe Blow is gonna really remember. I don't think. But I mean, to a Patriots fan, he's like an all-time Patriot. I mean, he never really had like, oh, he ran for 1,000 yards or he caught 1,000 yards or whatever. He never really had like a huge season, but he was just always there. You could always rely on him. So
Right? Yeah.
he's gone.
No,
It sucks.
he was a great player. He's a great fantasy player too.
He was.
Probably one of the best non-starters for a fantasy player.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like one of the best Patriots in the past few years. I mean, that 1 year in fantasy, he was really fucking good. I think, I mean, he had to finish in the top 20 at least. I mean, he was putting up numbers that
Yep.
1 year.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
but he's gone.
A good career for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Taysom Hill, New Orleans Saints. Formerly known as a quarterback, he's switching to tight end. I don't know any effect this is going to have on fantasy. It's just a little NFL news. So he's a tight end now. I'm sure they'll run some trick plays where he'll get the ball and he'll throw it, but for how many times that's going to happen, obviously he's not really worth the roster spot unless something changes.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know this was happening until you put it on the list here. I mean, they pretty much have to because they paid the dude so much money.
Right.
Like, I mean, they kind of have to do something with him because he's not a starting quarterback, and I mean, he kind of proved that last year. So
Could he be a damn good tight end? You never know.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. They just overpaid him, and now they're in a shitty spot, so they have to do something else with him.
Right.
So whatever. But moving on, Jonathan Taylor. Uh, apparently, the coach he might want to give the old backup a little more playing time, a little more reps. Keep Jonathan Taylor a little, you know, not so much load on him. Nahi
Fresh.
Hines, yeah,
Fre-
he's gonna get some more carries. I mean, here's a quote for you. Coach said, "I'm not saying he's talking about Jonathan Taylor, of course. I'm not saying he won't lead the league in touches, but I almost don't want him to. So, what kind of effect is this going to have on Jonathan Taylor for the fantasy season?"
I don't think it's going to have an effect at all. I still think, obviously, he's going to get the main workload. I think they just want to give Hines like a little more burn. It just for the sake of Jonathan Taylor not getting hurt, and plus Hines is a damn good player.
Oh, he is. I mean, he's going to get he's like the receiving guy. Every team has to have a receiving back, and he fits that mold for the Colts. And I mean, you can't blame the guy for not wanting to give the best player on the team a shit ton of carries. You're going to
Right?
need him in
Yeah.
the playoffs. So,
And mixing in Hines could make that team better. I think it does.
oh, definitely.
He's a way better receiving threat than Jonathan Taylor is.
I mean, there should be a lot of plays where they're both on the field
Right.
at
Yeah.
the same time. So,
But it won't affect fantasy much.
no, I don't think so.
Mahomes says that Nicole Hardman is stepping into Hill's role as the deep threat. I'm not surprised by this at all. I figured that would happen. McCall Hardman is really fast, and he's a good receiver. I'm not saying he's as good as Tyreek Hill, but I saw this coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a shock. I think they kind of had this planned out when they drafted the guy. I mean, he's like the same mold as Tyreek Hill. So, and that shouldn't be a shock to anybody.
No, and that's why I don't understand why McCall Hardman is dropping to like round 16. or not round 16, but round 12. Like, why is he being drafted so low in mock drafts?
I mean, there's a lot of hype right now around Juju, and this is part of the thing where like don't get me wrong, you have to look into preseason, but some people look into it too much. Like Juju Smith-Schuster, he ran 100% of the first team reps in preseason, and everybody's making a fucking big deal out of it. He ran 100% of the snaps and didn't get the ball thrown to him. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're on the goddamn field if you don't get the ball thrown towards you. So, I mean, Nicole Hardman's been there and done that with Mahomes. He's going to have a better relationship than Juju. What has Juju done in the past 2 years? Nothing.
No,
So, I don't know. I don't understand the Juju hype train.
I don't want any of these receivers other than Hardman, and that's because of where I can get him.
Yeah,
I
way
don't want
better
to.
value.
I don't want to draft Juju in the 6th round. I could get someone way better than that. Now, I'm not saying Juju isn't a good pick there because he could have a great year. You never know. But for the value that I could get in the 6th round, I'm not taking Juju Smith Schuster. I'm going to take a Nicole Hardman in the 11th round.
Yeah, I'd much rather take Nicole Hardman and hope that he fills in that Tyreek Hill role. And Juju is more like, I don't even know what you'd compare him to. I mean,
Jarvis
like,
Landry.
I don't know. I'm not big on Juju, so people shouldn't be surprised at Hardman if Hardman plays good.
No.
So, Saquon Barkley, he's looking good, supposedly. Practice, he's making all these good moves. He's looking real agile and whatnot.
Healthy.
Um, he's looking healthy. Preseason game, the Giants looked like shit. Uh, they played us, which we lost on a last second field goal, which made me want to kill myself. But regardless, the Giants' offense looked terrible. They started all their starters. We didn't start anybody, and they only scored 3 points on us. And they played like 3 possessions with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones sucks. I mean, look, I don't. I'll say that every episode. He's fucking terrible. He
Is it
looks
gonna
scared.
is it gonna end up being Tyrod Taylor's team?
Tyrod Taylor played way better than Daniel Jones. When he came in, it was like a spark to that team.
I've
Daniel
always
Jones, dude.
I've always thought Tyrod Taylor was good.
Yeah, he's not bad at all.
No.
But yeah, I mean, right now Saquon's looking good. Everybody's hyping him up because it's Saquon Barkley. I mean, good for him. Maybe he finally stays healthy. I'm still not sold on it personally,
No,
but
not worth the risk.
no, not at all. But I mean, if he plays good, then good for whoever drafts him, I guess.
Right. Switching to the Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown is that guy for Goff right now. He had an 80 plus PFF grade as a rookie. 100% of players that receive an 80 or greater grade as a rookie went on to have a top 12 season by year 4. Goff said, "I'm looking for him when we need a play." It's really not a surprise. I mean, he really started to come into his own towards the end of the year last year. And I mean, good for him. He is a talented dude, and I expect a good season out of him this year. I don't want to say great, just I'm not super hyped about him, but I think he's going to give you consistent points if he's on your team. Definitely, you could start him. Absolutely. I wouldn't draft him as a wide receiver too. I'd kind of look at him as more of like a flex kind of player, just to be safe. But he definitely could become a wide receiver 2 and maybe a wide receiver 1.
I'm absolutely all over this guy. If he's my wide receiver too, like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I am all over this guy. I don't know, man. Just this is another one too that surprises me because people are shocked that oh man, Amon St. Brown all of a sudden. Oh wow, why are you guys surprised? Like, where have you been living under a rock?
No, I'm definitely not surprised.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, okay, they signed DJ Chark. Amon-Ra St. Brown is better than DJ Chark. I'm sorry.
He is, but don't sleep on Shark.
But don't sleep on Chark. That's true. But no, I'm all over Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. He's gonna have a great year.
So wide receiver two, but not one.
I wouldn't say he's a one yet, but if at the end of my draft he's my wide receiver too, I'd be okay with that. If he's my flex spot, I'm
Oh yeah,
ecstatic with that. I
absolutely.
mean, he's gonna have a great year. But
Yeah, that's why I said draft him as a flex because you could grab a guy that you feel even more comfortable with as a wide receiver too, and then
yeah,
try to snag him as your flex.
yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna get somebody better anyway. But at the end of the year, you'll be saying, "Oh wow, Monter St. Brown, that was a great pick."
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
Russell Gage got hurt. I don't know what the severity of that is, but Russell Gage is hurt.
How does that affect fantasy? Not at all.
No, not even in the slightest. Julio Jones will probably get more looks, but uh,
Might make Julio's stock go up a tad bit, but it's not going to change my opinion. I'd have to like for me to draft Julio Jones, it would have to be
late.
there's got to be nobody else that I want.
Yeah, Russell Gage is a guy that a lot of people were kind of high on him, thinking, oh, it's the best quarterback he's ever played with. He played okay when he was with the Falcons, but I just
There's
don't
no
see it.
volume.
There's no volume at all. When Chris Godwin comes back and he's in practice anyway. So, I mean, I guess he's way ahead of schedule on his injury. Nah, Russell Gage, it doesn't matter in the slightest.
NFL's not allowing Kyle Shanahan to wear old hats. They must be NFL approved. Obviously, this doesn't have anything to do with fantasy football. We're just covering some news for the week or since our last episode. Obviously, this is stupid. As long
Yeah.
as he's not wearing anything vulgar, and the team's obviously not going to let him wear something that would represent another team in any way. Not that he would do that anyway, but why is this a thing?
I don't understand it, man. He just wants to wear the old style NFL hats. Like he's still wearing a 49ers hat.
I mean, it's all a money grab. They just want him to represent their new apparel so that people are like, "Ooh, that hat looks good." Like,
Yeah, the new shit they come out with every year that's like basically the same. They just change it a little bit
right.
and they make millions of dollars off of it. I mean, let the guy wear whatever goddamn hat he wants. I don't know what the fucking big deal is.
It's a money grab. That's all it is. They just want him to brand. They want him to brand for them.
Yeah, it's completely asinine. And that's also the reason that like coaches used to wear suits and shit on the sideline, and they don't do that anymore because they have to wear like team apparel. That's why they're
Yep.
all wearing fucking hoodies and jackets and sweatpants and shit like that. But yeah, no, that shit's asinine. Um, the Browns. The Browns will consider trading for Jimmy Garoppolo if the Watson suspension gets increased to what will probably be a year suspension.
Is that an
So,
upgrade from Brissett?
uh, I would say yeah.
Me too.
I mean, at this point, after seeing what Watson did in preseason and seeing the throws he's making in practice, I'd almost say it's an upgrade from him. I mean, he looks like shit.
Good.
Yeah, really, fuck him. Did you see the chants that the Jaguars fans were making?
No, I think I might have read something about it.
They were saying, fuck, I don't remember what the fuck they were saying now. They were chanting that he was a scumbag or whatever. But, yeah, fuck him. I mean,
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, I still think he deserves a starting job somewhere.
I think a lot of people are a lot more high on him than I am personally, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's bad. I don't think he's good.
He makes too much
You
money to sit on
you
the bench.
you take Debo Samuel off that team last year, they don't make playoffs.
No, no, they don't.
Like, no way.
But Brandon Ayuk has an amazing year.
I mean, they have to play someone. No, they'll play that Jennings kid more.
Yeah, right. But yeah,
But yep. Okay, so on to the next thing. Antonio Brown he says, tell Jerry Jones to call me. This would be interesting.
it would be very interesting. What kind of effect would that have on fantasy?
It would have an effect. I do think it would.
Huge effect.
It would. It's not like Julio going to the Bucks.
No,
Him stepping in there, he's immediately the wide receiver too.
I'd almost argue he's the wide receiver one.
I don't know if I'd jump there yet.
I mean,
I
he's absolutely the two. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
right.
Yeah.
This would be huge for fantasy. This is
Oh,
why this is why you need fantasy life. You need something to give you updates because if he signs with the Cowboys or any team that he's going to have an impact on,
yeah.
okay, he's going to have an impact on any team. But
If he signs anywhere,
if he signs anywhere where volume is there for him, you need to go to ESPN or whatever fantasy app you use and you need to sign him or pick him up off waivers right there.
immediately.
Yes. So
Well,
this is definitely, I wouldn't call it big news, but it's something to keep an eye out for.
I mean, the only reason I wouldn't say it's big news is because I don't think there's a very big chance that he signs anywhere. But obviously, he still wants to play. I know, like, when he originally did his whole deal, he talked a lot about wanting to play with Lamar Jackson. And man, that would be huge. If he went to the fucking Ravens, oh man. I mean, I don't care. He is automatically the wide receiver one if he goes to Baltimore. But I don't think it'll happen.
No, just something to keep an eye out for, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Um, oh, the Will Levis comment. So on the TikTok that blew up as I was going throughout my day, took my little break and saw this fellow Will Levis commented on my video. And I'll be honest, I had no idea who it was, but I saw he had a little blue check mark next to his TikTok name. So I wonder who this guy is. So did a little searching, went on the guy's page, find out, oh, this is the quarterback at Kentucky. Like, okay, well, Kentucky's not really a big football school, but I wonder what this guy is all about. So I looked to see, watch some of his highlights, watch some of his draft stuff, and it turns out that this guy is a projected like top 10 pick in the draft, and he turns out to be pretty fucking good. So, yeah, I don't know. This potential top 10 pick in the draft is commenting on a video that we made about this podcast. So, we're getting
Right.
out there, man.
It's awesome. And like any feedback from you guys, anybody that listens, obviously you don't have to join the Discord if you don't want to. Obviously that's optional. We're just trying to build a community, trying to give you information, trying to give you our opinions. And me and Tyler just like getting together and talking about football. We talk about football a week when we're not on the podcast. This isn't a one day a week thing. This is
Yeah,
24/7.
exactly.
And just any feedback would be helpful. And we're just trying to build a community. If you guys want to join the Discord, that's cool. Ask us questions, give us topics, whatever. But if 3 years from now, we look and we're like, dude, the starting quarterback for the Dolphins commented on our TikTok. Like, that'd be really cool. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just cool to get recognition from a guy that I mean, he didn't need to comment on that.
no,
I mean, this dude's I'm sure he's got NIL deals and he's probably making fucking bank and he's some big hot shot playing for Kentucky and well, originally he was at Penn State and he transferred. I mean, this dude's like a big recruit. And I mean, this is a guy that there's actually things online that this dude could be the number one pick in the draft. And he's commenting on some dude's random fucking video about a guy that before we got on this podcast, I'd never even fucking heard of before. And he's on there saying, "Oh, I knew this guy was really good. I played with him in high school." I'm like, "Well, son of a bitch, man, fuck this guy. You're a potential top 10 pick comment on my page. Like, fuck the video.
Yeah, it
Let's
was really
talk
cool.
about you. I'm like, damn, but that was really cool.
Well, he'll probably be on this podcast in a couple years when he enters the draft or next year.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that.
Yep. Yeah, that was awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll leave the Kyler Murray one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance looked good in their preseason game.
Looked
I mean,
really good.
this isn't news, but just something we wanted to put out there. I'd feel comfortable drafting him as my fantasy quarterback. Obviously, there's guys I want ahead of him, but he looked good.
Yeah, I mean, at this point now, we talked about it before. I wasn't like really sold on him, but at this point, if you're getting towards the end and you haven't taken a quarterback yet, and Trey Lance is still sitting there, I'm completely fine with that at this point. He's shown enough for me in the preseason game. I've seen enough clips through practice and training camp, the whole deal. This dude's going to be good. He's got all the pieces around him. He can run. He's going to be. I'm not saying he's going to be, the best there is in the league or whatever, but fantasy wise, this dude's going to be really good.
We all knew he could run. This game just kind of gave us a glimpse of this dude. This dude can throw the ball.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's it.
Kyler Murray. I really want to talk about this. This asshole Kyler Murray. So apparently, he gets frustrated during games about Cliff Kingsbury's calls, and I guess it's been like a problem since they've been together. So Cliff tried telling Kyler that, "Hey, dude, this isn't as fucking easy as you think it is, calling plays like this." So Cliff decided to let Kyler Murray call the plays in the fourth quarter of the first preseason game. And boy, did he show, man. He's going to be an awesome offensive coordinator one day. Kyler Murray led the team in the fourth quarter, him calling the plays, to -2 yards of total offense. So, man, when this guy's done with his career, immediately he's going to be a fucking head coach. I mean, this guy's got it.
Maybe it was a learning experience. Maybe in 30 years he can look back and say, "This is when I knew I was going to be a good offensive coordinator because I didn't give up."
Yeah, right. This dude's a fucking clown. I hate this guy more and more every day. Fuck Kyler Murray. -2 yards of total offense. He was talking all that shit. But, yeah, I really wanted to vent that out.
All right.
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler, he's out for the season. Undisclosed injury, no further information. Just wanted to throw that out there. Obviously, it doesn't affect fantasy at all, unless your wide receiver is playing against Pats. But
They're
Malcolm
going to put up
Butler,
numbers.
done for the year.
Yeah, not much to add on that. Probably didn't
No.
want to play anyway. So, um, the Pats. I know you guys don't give a fuck about the Pats. I've figured that out on TikTok, all right? Anything I put up that has anything to do with the Pats, you guys don't give a fuck. But I don't care. The dynamic for the Patriots offense is so bad right now. It's really worrying. With the starters didn't play, like I said, Mac didn't play. But each possession, they were changing who was calling the plays. We never hired an offensive coordinator. They're trying to figure out if Matt Patricia, a dude that has been predominantly a defensive coordinator for his entire fucking career, is going to call the offensive plays, or if Joe Judge, the dude that sucked ass the last 2 years with the Giants, is going to call the offensive plays. So they're switching back and forth on each possession in the preseason game. And when the quarterback, whoever it is, Hoyer or the other guy, when they come to the sideline, they look so confused on who they're supposed to go talk to because who's calling the fucking plays? I mean, they don't know who is leading the offense. So they're walking over to the sideline, confused as fuck. And then you got those two bozos. They're standing over there, and they're both thinking to themselves, you can see it on TV. They're both thinking to themselves, okay, they're going to come up and talk to me. So it's just a terrible team dynamic. I mean, they got to figure it out. I don't know who's going to call the plays. I don't know who did better, but they got to figure that out because, I mean, we can't go into the season doing that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well have Belichick call the plays at that point.
Exactly. I cannot believe out of all the coaches there are in the whole world, we got this dude that sucked as a head coach. And let's keep in mind, he got the head coaching job for the Giants after being our special teams guy. He wasn't even the special teams coordinator. He was like the coach of the line on the special team. This dude did nothing. He gets the fucking job in New York with the Giants, sucks for 2 years, then comes back, and he's gonna call plays. Oh, or we got the guy that was our defensive coordinator for years and years. As soon as he left, the defense got way better. He goes to the Lions, sucks for 3 or 4 years. He comes back. Now he wants to fucking coach the offense. We couldn't find anybody else. I mean, goddamn. Rant over.
I'll let you cover Gibson too.
Oh, okay. Antonio Gibson. Don't draft this guy. He's bad. He's playing special teams and he's playing with the third string offense in practice today. He wasn't getting first team reps in the preseason game. This dude's bad. We're gonna get into the backup probably in a different episode. We're not talking about him today, but Brian Robinson, that's dude you're gonna have to look out for. We're gonna talk about him probably next week because Antonio Gibson, he's done for. I mean, no, it's over. Don't draft Antonio Gibson. I don't give a fuck what you read, what you see. Don't touch him.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate too because he was a dude that a couple years ago was really talented, just injury plagued and tough. You know.
Yeah, just bad now. Is what it is.
All right, and we'll run through some injuries real quick with you guys. Darren Waller has a hamstring injury, considered to not be serious, but hamstrings are a nagging injury. This is something to look out for. This definitely bumps him down on my tight end list. I know you weren't super high on him to begin with, but this is definitely something to keep an eye on because hamstrings are no joke.
No, I mean that's pretty worrying, especially for a guy like that. My hamstring's been hurting the last couple days, and I can't imagine playing football with it. So, yeah, definitely thing to keep your eyes out for. N'Keal Harry, another Patriots standout. He got traded to the Bears. He's out 8 weeks, having tightrope surgery for a sprained ankle. This has no effect on anything at all. N'Keal Harry sucks
At best, it was a sleeper pick.
at best. Yeah.
Right. Because I do personally think there was a chance that he could have had production. But, I mean, at best, a sleeper pick, nothing that's going to change the way you go into your draft
No.
at all. We already covered Russell Gage. Rashad Penny has a slight groin injury. I would keep a close eye on it because Kenneth Walker's value goes up significantly if this injury persists, if he aggravates it, whatnot. If Kenneth Walker gets the green light, this dude, the volume will be there. And the coach said Kenneth Walker could get as much of the load as Penny. So,
Which has nothing to do with the injury, by the way. That's just in general.
right. So, I mean,
So that's
just
pretty big.
another thing to keep an eye on because groin injuries are nagging too. And as a running back, that's an important injury.
It's going to be really hard for him to lead the league in rushing if he has a groin injury.
Like you were expecting him to.
Yeah, that's really terrible for him. I mean, we just got breaking news right here. Not really like anything to go nuts about, but Pete Carroll says Geno Smith, he's still leading the quarterback competition. But he wants to give Drew Lock a starting opportunity this week in the preseason game. So, I mean, we were way off on this for the first 5 episodes of the podcast. Drew Lock is not the starting quarterback as of right now. Geno Smith is. So,
And that's better for fantasy because he played well last year.
he did. So, moving on with the injuries, Zach Wilson. He ended up, they were worried he tore his ACL, but he ended up I think he has a bone bruise and he tore his meniscus. He's going to be out like 4 weeks or some shit. But Joe Flacco's starting week 1, right?
Yes.
So, and Joe Flacco, believe it or not, the coach and the team and I mean even the press is saying that Joe Flacco is pretty good. Like there's a lot of reporters and stuff saying that Joe Flacco has outplayed Zach Wilson in training camp and shit. And actually today, he went 14 of 17 with 4 touchdowns in practice. So maybe Joe Flacco still has something left in the tank.
Never been a fan of Zach Wilson really anyways. So, I mean, does it affect fantasy that much? I think it could be more a positive thing.
I mean, it's so hard to say because you couldn't really judge Zach Wilson off of last season, you know?
Not really.
I think he's talented, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to change much. You know who the Jets play in week 1, though?
You guys?
The Ravens.
Oh, interesting.
So, week 1, I'm taking the Jets over the Ravens. Put it on the parlay now.
All right, bet. Oh, Lions rookie wide receiver Jamison Williams looking like he's going to make his debut around week 7 towards ACL. Just something to keep an eye on. If he doesn't get drafted in your league, I don't know if I want to say give up a roster spot right away, but if you have an RI spot, maybe scoop him up, put him in that IR spot. I don't know how much effect he's going to have not playing with the team till week 7, but I did read that he is still very involved with the team. They said they've never seen someone as involved who wasn't able to play. So just something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to get drafted anywhere, like you said, but I mean, when it comes along, week 7, if he's still available, maybe you take a shot on him. You know?
Absolutely.
But and yeah, I guess we're ready to move on then, huh? Ready to get into some sleepers, some rookie sleepers. This is what we've been waiting for.
All you, man.
So I'll start it off. My first sleeper. Try to hype it up a little bit, but everybody's gonna know who it is. Wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. Rookie. Went to school at Nevada. Romeo Dobbs. We got the name right. It's spelled Doobs, but it's Dobbs. Okay? Doubs. Dobbs. This guy Well, first of all, he's 6'2", 200 pounds. He's big, physical receiver. He's a deep threat. That's that's the mold that he fits in. He says that his idol is Julio Jones, so obviously he's trying to kind of, you know, go after him, I guess. The reason that this dude is on this list has nothing to do with what he did in college. It had nothing to do with that. Rodgers is praising him like this dude is the man. Eh, Aaron Rodgers is an asshole. So for Aaron Rodgers to be given a rookie praise is insane. All Aaron Rodgers does is complain about his team. So it's reported that this guy's having lunch with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has said that every single day there's been at least one wild play from him, and he added that the only other players that have made as many wow plays so early in camp have gone on to be top 10 in Packers receiving history. I mean, that's pretty big praise from a guy that's known to be an asshole. Um, like I said, he's got the size. He's 6'2". He ran a 4.5. He's not like super quick, but watching his film, he can get off the line of scrimmage fast. Like he's got a lot of burst off the line, and he could fucking blow by a corner. He can make people miss with his size and his agility. Like I said, he's not the fastest guy, but he's big and he's agile. Um, like I said, he's a deep threat in college, and between 2020 and 2021, he scored 15 deep receiving touchdowns, which led college football in 2020, 2021. And this guy has the potential to be Rodgers' number one receiver. So this is definitely a guy to keep your eyes on, and this guy should be getting drafted in every league at this point.
He's up. The number one target on their team's up in the air right now.
Exactly, and that's another thing to add. All they got is Lazard, Tanyan, Aaron Jones, that other rookie that we always forget his name. Fuck him at this point.
Christian Watson.
Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs. Like I said, big physical receiver, deep threat. This dude is going to be big.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's up for grabs right now. And if Rodgers is having lunch with this kid and he's saying good things about him, obviously that means something. I mean,
Yeah,
nobody's more
absolutely.
critical than Aaron Rodgers is of people. He's not going to say you're good if you're not. So,
No.
definitely someone to keep an eye on. Watch more preseason games or at least highlights. I mean, yeah, he's definitely worth a roster spot at this point, but go take a look at him. And definitely a guy who could maybe start your league on the bench and then work his way into your starting lineup.
Yeah. Got a lot of potential. And that's what this is
Absolutely.
all about.
Yep. You want to get the best bang for your buck.
Exactly. Late round league winners.
Exactly. Another guy, Sky Moore, rookie wide receiver for the Chiefs. He's the number one rookie at beating zone and number two at man. The dude has really good footwork. His stutter steps, the way he explodes off the line of scrimmage, he has really good footwork. He is taking snaps in the backfield, kind of like a Tyreek Hill role, Deebo Samuel. Obviously, we don't know how much this is going to come into effect in the regular season, but definitely a plus. Obviously, it's something that potentially makes his stock higher. And he's got Mahomes to learn from. Mahomes is going to give him tips. Good quarterback to get information from, and a good way to start your career, really. Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah,
Great place to start.
can't ask for much more than that.
Great offense to start in. He played football at Western Michigan. He's 5'10", 195, and he ran a 4.41. So, pretty fast kid. I'm not 100% sold that he's going to have the volume that we'd like him to, just because Juju's there, Nicole Hardman's there, Scanlon's there, Travis Kelce's still there, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Pacheco. There's a lot of guys on this offense. And just out of everybody on our list, he's probably the least exciting because of the offense that he's on. And, if it was him that was on Green Bay, we'd be saying the same thing about him. But obviously not, the big target and whatnot. They're two different kind of players. But
Yeah.
I put him as a bench stash for now. He's worth a super late round pick. Don't reach on this guy. You can reach on him late. Or I should say you can take him late. But don't reach on him. He's a bench stash. Super high ceiling though. He's got great potential. Just there's so many people on that team.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him starting out as like more like a gadget player maybe. Maybe you'll get him on like some jet sweeps and shit, and like you said, get him out of the backfield. Maybe kind of. I mean, Nicole Hardman was doing it last year, so maybe Nicole Hardman kind of takes more of the Tyreek Hill role, where he's just outside, and then you have Sky Moore coming out of the backfield doing some crazy shit. I mean, it's another similar player to. I mean, they're taking the same types of guys. You
Right.
know, it's kind of the same mold as McCole Hardman and Tyreek Hill. He's got big time potential. You're not going to see it at the beginning of the season. But like you said, if you stash this guy towards the end of the year, he might pay off big for you, especially if there's an injury.
Right. Super high ceiling, but personally, I don't see him giving you any fantasy production until about week 6.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
But if he's he's being drafted too higher than his too high for his value.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of hype around him right now.
So I would if you're gonna take a rookie, go with the guys that go with Romeo Dobbs or any of these guys that we're going to talk about. But he's got a lot of potential. Just there's so many guys on that team.
Yeah,
it's hard,
yeah. The volume is the problem.
Exactly. If he was on a different team, we might be having a different conversation. But,
Yeah,
another guy to keep your eye on. Because, he
yeah,
played well, but in his first preseason game. But it's just a guy
yeah.
you got to keep your eye on. He didn't blow the world away. Keep him on your list to watch out for.
Absolutely. A guy that is nothing like who we just talked about. This is the best player on this list. Well, no, he's the best player on this list. George Pickens. This guy isn't really a sleeper at this point anyway. Everybody knows about George Pickens. He had that crazy touchdown, the toe tap in the corner of the end zone in preseason. This dude is a monster. All right, everybody said a bunch of stuff about him. He's playing outside. Chase Claypool. This is actually kind of big. Chase Claypool is going to play in the slot, and they're going to push Pickens to the outside to be the wide receiver too, with Deontay Johnson on the other side. Let me quick just add this. This guy completely changes how I felt about Deontay Johnson. I mean, I was really big on him. The way that this guy is balling out, forget everything I said about Deontay Johnson. You might as well just wait and try and get this guy instead, because he might actually end up playing better than Deontay Johnson. Just something. There's a bunch of quotes about him though. Um, He's a special talent. He could be their wide receiver one this year. This is a funny one. He's Martavis Bryant without a reliable plug. Obviously, he played at Georgia. Deontay Johnson, he said he's a freak. You can't teach some of the things he does. He's another guy that's 6'3", 200 pounds. He's got the size. He's got great hands. He's got great footwork. He's a great route runner. I mean, we already saw it. The toe tap in the back of the end zone. That's pretty much all you have to see. It doesn't get much better than that. He can jump up, make contested catches. He's going to be great in the red zone. And I mean, you could already see it. The only thing you have to keep an eye on, he's coming off an ACL injury. He didn't play the whole season for Georgia last year. He only played like the last 5 games. So that is something to keep an eye on. But with how he's been playing, it probably isn't. It's not going to matter. So George Pickens is obviously he's getting drafted in every league. I mean, I don't think I'd want him as one of my starters in a 10-man league. But if this guy's on your bench, you should be thrilled. Yeah. I mean, he's a stud.
Definitely a guy who's, I mean, at this point, he's on everyone's radar.
Yeah.
You could still consider him a sleeper just because, you know, he's sitting behind Deontay Johnson. Maybe some people would say Chase Claypool too, but this guy's getting a lot of noise. And, you know, when you're getting those remarks made by Deontay Johnson, you know, people saying he's a freak and you can't teach some of the things he does. That means all the talent is there. We just got to hope that it all comes together. The quarterback play, he stays healthy. And, you know, just it's not all about just talent. He's got to work hard. He's got to be there. So, but yeah, this guy could have a really big year. Definitely a guy I would like to have on my team. Deontay Johnson's still valuable, but maybe just not as high as people had him.
Yeah, now at this point, where Deontay Johnson is going, the value has like completely switched. Before, I thought you were getting a really good value for him where he was getting drafted. But now, with the way that this guy's blown up, now you're getting screwed where he's getting drafted.
Right.
So,
but yeah, Pickens, guy to watch out for.
Absolutely.
This next guy that I'm going to cover, this might be the second best one on this list.
Could be the first.
That's what I was thinking when you said that he was the first. I was thinking it's definitely close.
Yeah, I kind of hesitated on it.
So, the rookie running back for the Houston Texans, Dameon Pierce. I don't know if you would consider him a sleeper at this point anymore either, but he's running away with the starting job there. He broke tackles at the second highest rate of the 2022 draft class. There's a huge gap between him and other running backs on the team. Marlon Mack sitting right behind him. He's a hard runner. He played at Florida. He had the highest rated PFF RB in week 1 preseason with 90.6. Lovie Smith said he can run with power. He can make you miss. He can cut in a dime. He can catch the ball. And he also said that he definitely caught his eye. He looked great in their first preseason game. Really good. And, you know, obviously you can't base everything off preseason, but still, that's a good sign. You don't want your rookies playing like shit in the preseason.
I mean, that's all we got right now.
Exactly.
So.
That and news, shit that you hear from camp, clips you see. That's it. He should dominate carries this year.
Absolutely.
Watch out for the Texans.
Yeah, dude.
Seriously.
I'm telling you. Davis Mills, man. I'm telling you. I've been saying it.
Maybe we got to redo our division list too before the year
starts.
You.
Yeah, seriously.
But what I'm saying, guys, is this is a guy who wasn't even on my radar. I just knew he was there. To a guy that I want on every single one of my teams.
Yeah.
I
No.
I mean, I would say draft him as a flex at this point just to be safe. And honestly, that's what I had written in my episode notes. But I might say running back two flex. This guy could win you your league, especially if you get him for a flex position. If you have two running backs, two wide receivers already, and then you can get this guy as your flex, you should be ecstatic about that. He could end up being your best scoring running back.
No, he could be. I mean, the volume's gonna be there. Marlon Mack is gonna he'll get his carries, but Rex Burkhead's there too. He's old. I didn't I really had no idea who this guy was until I started looking at him. And if you don't know who Damian Pierce is, you just don't know his name because you've already seen the highlight. This dude went to Florida, and it'll be in the video. He goes for a run, plows into somebody, his helmet comes flying off. He spins out of it, runs in for a touchdown. I think everybody in the world has seen that fucking highlight. So you don't know his name, but that's who it is. Damian Pierce.
This is a guy that I want, definitely, on
Oh,
my team.
we're gonna be fighting over this guy. No doubt.
It's all about who's willing to take him first.
Yeah, I mean this is gonna be bad right here.
And
But
speaking of that, guys, we have our first draft of the year as of right now on August 28th at 7 p.m. And we're gonna live stream that right on the Twitch, throw it on the
yeah,
YouTube. Just something I thought I'd throw out there. But yeah, I don't have much more to say about him, but Damian Pierce is he's a special talent.
yeah, he is a beast. But moving on, I guess this is my last one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it is. So earlier you said that Sky Moore was the one that you were like the least confident about. Honestly, this guy I'm probably more least confident about, you know? Tyquan Thornton. And I'll be honest, I'll get it right out of the way. This is complete bias to the Pats. I know you guys hate that, but I just have to. Watching the preseason game, now when he got drafted, I wasn't so big on this guy because, I mean, there's other guys available. I think Pickens was available and we drafted Tyquan Thornton. But he was the fastest receiver in the draft, had a quick ass 40 time. And watching the preseason game, he was the best player on the field. It was like by so far. This dude could create separation with ease. And we haven't had a guy like that on the Pats in years. Like I've been begging for that. Somebody that can just get open. This dude is so fast. He's got great footwork. He's got great hands. He's 6'3", but he's extremely skinny. So that's a little worrying. He doesn't have the size that you would want. But he's been getting more reps with the first team because the team says that they feel he's earned it. He went to Baylor. In the preseason game, he played slot, he played outside, he played in motion. This dude was blocking great. Like for a little dude, I mean he's 6'3", but for a skinny dude, he was hitting people hard, man. On the running plays, they'd like swing him in motion and he'd cut down in. Oh man. Awesome blocker. I really hope that this guy gets a lot of playing time because he's got a lot of potential. Um, at this point, I don't know if it's somebody that you would draft, but maybe we keep looking in preseason when the starters play. See if he plays. If he's playing with Mac Jones, we'll see what happens, you know. But this is a guy I'm really excited about. Maybe not so much fantasy wise at the moment, but Patriots wise, he just looks fucking good, man. We haven't drafted anybody like that in a while. So I'm excited.
Who was thrown to him in the preseason game? Hoyer.
Hoyer. Yeah. and then he would, when they were done, when Hoyer was done, Thornton was done.
Okay.
It was so easy. He looked so fucking good. So I hope that he's getting a lot of reps with the first team. It's a loaded receiving room. I mean, we have Devontae Parker, we have Jacoby Myers, we have Kendrick Bourne. But this dude should be seeing playing time. I mean, he just looked that fucking good.
Something that we'll just have to wait and see.
Absolutely.
Now that's a sleeper right there.
Huge sleeper. Nobody's going to like that.
Hey, everybody's here for the football information, dude.
Yep.
Pats fan or not, Pats player or not. James Cook. Everybody knows who this guy is at this point. It's Dalvin Cook's little brother. He's impressing in camp. He was the third best receiving back in the draft on a pass-heavy team. The coach said a young player that's opened some eyes here a little bit in the run and the pass game. Excuse me. He's taken 68% of the first team reps, 32% for Singletary. That's a good sign. Obviously. He's spending time with the receiver coach. He played at Georgia, ran a 4.42. As far as the first preseason game and what I've seen from him, he has good vision on the field as far as hitting holes. But one thing I do have to say is there's a big difference in the speed of play from college to NFL. You watch his college film, he hits all the holes, all the gaps, but the NFL is a different speed. So you can't base everything off, obviously, how he played in college, but he's a receiving threat. He's got a great opportunity in that offense with Josh Allen. And, I mean, really, it's just Diggs and Gabriel Davis and Knox. So there should be some passing volume for him there, too.
Yeah.
It's really only a matter of time until he gets a starting job. Unless Singletary comes out firing. I mean, that's the only case scenario that I can see where Singletary shares time or, gets the head down. He's got the starting role. But right now, I would expect James Cook to be their starting running back. And the Bills with a dominant running back will be a really, really, really scary team.
Yeah, that's what they've been missing for years. Since Josh Allen got there.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Yeah.
no, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I don't really have anything to add. Go for it.
I would still say a bench stash, though.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't even put him in the flex yet. Damian Pierce, definitely a flex player. Absolutely. But James Cook, again, I think the production will really kick in around like week 4, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, here's the thing. These are sleepers. Not all these guys you're drafting so they can be in your lineup. Hopefully, if you draft a good team, probably none of these guys will be in your lineup week 1. I mean, honestly. But it's the same thing with the Pacheco pick. I mean, Pacheco, he's not going to be in your fucking starting lineup, but he's a big sleeper. These are guys that could win you your league. And they're not going to win you your league in the first couple of weeks. That's not what a league winner is. These are sleepers. These are rookies. It takes them a couple weeks to get into it. James Cook is really good. And let's not forget either. His brother plays in the league. I mean, I know that's not going to have like a huge effect, but it's going to have somewhat of an effect. Delvin can help him out, give a
Yeah.
brother a hand,
Yep.
you know,
They'll be playing
but
against each other this year.
they will be. That'd be pretty interesting. They look a lot alike, too.
This is how you should approach taking a sleeper. Taking a sleeper is like gambling or sports betting. Don't spend any money that you are not willing to lose.
Yeah, good analogy.
Because that's what it is. Every time you place a sports bet or go to the casino, right when you put that money in, you know there's a chance that you're going to lose it. Same thing with taking a sleeper. You're taking this guy with the upside. You're not taking him knowing that you can put him in your starting lineup. You're taking it on the chance that I'm getting him in round 13 and he could be in my starting lineup and he could win me my league or at least give me consistent fantasy points or be used as trade bait.
Yeah, I mean that's a perfect way of saying it. These are not guys that are going to go early. I mean, these are guys that are going to be filling out benches. And
Exactly.
when you get towards the end of the draft and you're trying to fill out that bench, would you rather have a guy that's in his first year that has endless potential, or do you want to draft fucking
Julio
Raheem
Jones.
Mostert or Julio Jones or Sony Michel, you know? I mean, come on now. You know what you're going to get out of those guys already. They're going to be they're not guys you're going to ever feel confident about starting. So don't even waste the damn pick putting them on the bench. Get a guy like this. Get a guy like anybody on this list besides probably Tyquan Thornton. And just let them sit there on your bench and hope they blow up. We're not saying that every one of these guys are going to blow up. We're not professionals, but they have the potential. It's all there.
And to be honest with you guys, it doesn't matter what podcast you listen to, just because they tell you someone's going to blow up does not mean it's going to happen.
No.
I mean, we have different opinions than obviously the bigger podcasts. They still have Christian McCaffrey ranked at like number 2, and we think they're insane.
Yeah.
Obviously, no knock to them. That's not what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
It's just our opinion that we personally would never draft Christian McCaffrey that early, because of his injury history. Obviously, you and I both know that dude is a monster when he's healthy.
Yeah.
If he didn't get hurt consistently, he could go number 1.
Yeah, we wouldn't be having the conversation.
Exactly. It's just
But
you. Obviously, none of us know. You think you got the first 5 picks worked out to where it should definitely be these guys, but then week 2, Jonathan Taylor tears his ACL.
yeah.
It's just how it works, you know? But we're giving you guys our educated opinion on guys that we think have the possibility of winning you your league or giving you consistent points every week.
Everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody doing a podcast, doing a show, talking about fantasy football. Doesn't matter if it's a little podcast, big podcast. If you're not doing a podcast, if you're just talking about football at work, nobody knows what's going to happen. Like you said, Jonathan Taylor could go out, blow his ACL out in the first week, and next thing you know, we're sitting here talking about how great Nyheim Hines is. We're saying, oh, Nyheim Hines is going to win you your league. We're going to be talking about that if Jonathan Taylor blows out his ACL. So things change. Everybody's got their opinions. These are just 6 guys that we think have the potential to do something in fantasy to help out your teams. Because, I mean, that's really what we're here for. We're here, number one, to talk about football because we're just 2 guys who love talking about football. But, I mean, we want to help you guys out. You know, I mean, that's the point of this. We want this to get out there. I want you guys to listen. Listen to us. Maybe you don't agree. That's fine. When I posted the Pacheco, there was a lot of people that said, man, you're crazy. Andy Reid's not going to play this guy. You can't rely on him to play him. What about Clyde Edwards-Helaire? What about Jerick McKinnon? What about this? What about that? I mean, I don't know. Everybody's got their own opinion. We think he's going to be good. I don't know. We'll see. But it's all it is. It's just, our opinion. It's our best guess.
And we got backed up a little bit there from Will Levis confirming.
Exactly. And you know what? That's another thing I wanted to say. Anybody that's watching or listening that came from TikTok, man, some of you guys are like pretty fucking cool because there was a lot of people in there kind of grilling a little bit. Oh, what the fuck? You don't even know how to pronounce the guy's name, or you don't even know who the guy is, or this guy's not gonna do anything. And then within seconds, whenever there was a comment like that, within seconds, there was somebody on there going, "Well, fuck you," like this guy's gonna do real good, whatever, going the opposite way with it. So that's just pretty cool. So
Absolutely. I mean, like I said earlier in the podcast, the feedback, it's something that we want. Feedback, questions, topics, build a
yeah,
community, you know?
exactly.
We got one more rookie to touch on before we are done for the night, and it's about Brees Hall. Probably the highest ranked rookie running back,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of hype around him. Yeah.
Not really much from him in the first performance. Is it something to be worried about? Maybe. You got to see how the rest of the preseason really plays out. I saw that Tyler added into this that Michael Carter outplayed him as far as reps. He got more reps. I mean, I thought Michael Carter was good.
So did I.
Rookie last year, correct?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I liked Michael Carter. I thought he was good. He had some good games last year in fantasy. And I don't know why they really drafted a running back. But
I don't know.
I mean, just something to look out for because this is a guy who was going around that David Montgomery area. And you might want to think about taking Dameon Pierce instead of Brees Hall.
Yeah.
Dameon Pierce is above him in my rankings now.
I mean, you could get a better value for Damian Pierce.
Hmm?
I mean, and we've talked about it. That's really what the draft comes down to is getting value at each pick. And to take Brees Hall I mean, where's he been going? Like the fourth round,
Somewhere
fourth,
around there.
fifth round. If you can wait a couple more rounds and take Damian Pierce, I mean, there's no arguing with him. Is Michael Carter gonna take his carries? Is Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead gonna take Damian Pierce's carries? No, not a fucking chance. You can see it. Like it's clear as day. This dude is the number one back. I don't care what anybody says. Brees Hall, there's a question mark there. So there's a
Absolutely.
little bit of risk. So maybe go with the better value.
Absolutely. I might go running back, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. Come around and try to take Dameon Pierce in the 5th round.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do, but it's definitely like a thought now.
Yeah. And that's why, you guys need to keep on, and I need to be doing it. Keep on doing mock drafts because all the rankings and shit are changing daily at this point.
Yep.
So you really want to see what's going on because that guy that you thought before you were going to get in the 10th round, well, he might be going in the 7th round now or
Right.
something, So you got to stay involved, stay informed.
And honestly, your mock drafts, unless you're using Fantasy Pros or Sleeper, if you're using ESPN, you're probably doing mock drafts with people who aren't as educated as the people you're going to be doing your league with.
Yeah.
So that's also something to remember. I do have something to add. Little breaking news.
Oh
You know,
boy.
you know what I'm talking about.
Uh, I'm seeing it now.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Uh, earlier in the episode, let me just pull that up again.
Hmm. Yeah, this is certainly not good. That changes a lot of shit.
Earlier in the episode, we talked about Rashad Penny having a slight groin injury Obviously, keep a close eye on it. They didn't say it was serious, but we were talking about, hey, Kenneth Walker, if this becomes a nagging injury for Penny, look for a lot of volume from Walker. But now, Ken Walker has a hernia issue. He could be facing a lengthy recovery. Pete Carroll expects him to be ready for the season opener, but injuries nag. This is something to look and keep an eye out for. I mean, DJ Dallas, is that the next guy up?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. They got DJ Dallas and Travis Homer.
Do you even want any part of that backfield now?
I mean, that's
As of
pretty scary.
as of right now.
As of
If
right now, with the injuries to both of them, no. I mean,
probably
uh,
probably Penny, right? The only one you'd take for right now.
I don't even know if I'd take him. I don't know. I gotta give it a couple more weeks, really, to see what the fuck's going on. By then, it'll be too late anyway. You're already gonna be drafting. But dude, a
Right.
hernia. I didn't think a hernia was a big deal. A couple months ago, this dude at work had a hernia, like in his stomach or whatever, and he had it for a bunch of years, but he went and like got it removed or whatever. And he originally said like, I'm gonna be back to work in a week. And the dude ended up being out of work for like a month and a half. And that's not playing fucking football. I mean,
Right.
that's changing light bulbs. So I don't know, man. If he's getting a hernia removed or whatever, like that could be a pain in the ass.
It's just like it's just something we're gonna have to keep an eye on. I mean, I I would keep a close eye before your draft at the news around these guys. If you were planning on taking any one of them,
Yeah.
definitely give it a few more weeks.
Also got to remember, bad team, bad O line.
Right.
So
And more susceptible to injury with a
yeah,
bad O line.
exactly. Man, if he's got a hernia and if somebody hits him real hard and the fucking hernia explodes or whatever, man, he'll be dead. That's not good.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Uh,
You have any closing comments?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. The link for the Discord is in the Spotify and Anchor bio. It is also in the About section of the Twitch, and the link is also in the YouTube description. If you're watching on YouTube, the Spotify description's in there. Basically, all our links are there. On the Twitch page, the TikTok link is there. That's going to be Tyler's account, but he is posting from our podcast. And just thanks for tuning in, guys. And, like we've said multiple times, join the Discord if you're interested. Ask questions, join the community. And we'll catch you next week.
See you.